first time in any, Metroid game we've included 6 new bounty hunters. These hunters are everywhere. If you encounter them in the single player game and you defeat them, you get to play as them in multiplayer. But for someone who may not have the time to go through single player, who has another agenda, if they play somebody in a multiplayer game and they can kill that bounty hunter, then they get control of it. Well, we have like 7 gameplay modes, and we have over 25 levels in the game, and they're unlockable as you play single player, and a lot of them are tuned specifically for the types of deathmatch options that you set up. I think what makes our game unique amongst first-person shooters is that you're not just chasing bipeds down tunnels and corridors, and it's very predictable when you get into that scenario. Our game is so unpredictable because you're contending with these alt forms, and what these alt forms are doing is, like you're following someone down the hallway, all of a sudden they turn into a ball and then roll up the wall and disappear. And you're like, you can't account for that. So I think that really makes multiplayer shine in this game. Well, you have your basic deathmatch type mode where, after a time limit, that was in First Hunt as well. After a certain time, whoever has the most kills wins. Then we have a kind of a stock count. It's called Survival. And Survival is basically when you run out of lives, it's over. We have Prime Hunter, which is a really cool one. And Prime Hunter is basically the first person to get a kill in the game has like superpowers. They can shoot faster and they don't have to reload, but their health is constantly dropping. The only way to get health is to kill somebody. So you can't sit and camp. So it's a perfect game to throw campers into and force them to fight. So that's neat. And then my favorite is Bounty. Bounty is kind of like made a sport, a Metroid sport, if you will. The players are looking for octoliths, which are these crystals that are found in single player. And basically, what their job is to do is use their alt forms to get over, find this octolith, but then get it back to score a goal before anybody can shoot you when you drop it. But if you use your alt form to get back, you'll drop it. It's neat because you get to use the special nature of your hunter to find a unique way to get to it, but then when you come back, you're forced to fight everybody. So it's cool. I love it. On top of the uniqueness of the alt forms, each hunter has an affinity weapon. And so what that means is basically they can use this weapon better than anybody else on the playing field. Everybody can still have that weapon, but the way they fire it is going to be a little different. So for example, there's a character called Spire. He's this molten magma fire guy. Well, he shoots this thing called a magma. Well, if he charges the magma and he hits you with that projectile, the character he hits will just be set on fire. So, and they have to put themselves out, and they're constantly taking damage. But if Samus were to take that magma and shoot it and charge it, it would just ricochet around the room. It wouldn't burn anybody. And that's an example of kind of how the affinity system works. So, you're really going to have to be playing this game for a long time to understand all the ins and outs and how the subtleties of the hunters come into play. Voice over IP was definitely on our wish list of things we wanted to do. And when we got that extra time, unfortunately we had to delay the game a bit, but that really allowed us to get all the things that we wanted in as, because I'm a game designer, but I'm a player first, right? And it's like, well, what would make me excited to play this game? So we really had time to do that. When you boot up the game, you go and you have your choice of the two modes in the game, single player and multiplayer. If you join multiplayer, you can do some single card actions, so that means your friends can download the game if they don't have it. And then there's multi-card play, which is basically everybody has the game and all the options are opened up. And then there is the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. So they can connect to our free service anywhere as long as there's a hotspot, and they can play their friends, and they can play complete strangers. If you've added a friend to your roster, then you have the option while you're in the lobby, which means you're setting up your game rules or you're setting up the characters that you want. You can actually sit and talk to them with a voice over IP. So you can sit and say, hey, I think we should try this, these set of options because, you just killed me the last time in this stage and, things like that. And then on top of that, then there's like an instant messenger type thing where you can sit and type out messages to your friends. It's a ridiculous amount of stats. This game was really designed for a hardcore audience in mind. And so, while your little sister might not care about, how many miles you've ran in the game, people like you and I, we're excited to see oh wow, we just wasted our lives running 10 miles in the game. But yeah, I mean, there's tons and tons of stats. There's some really cool ones like headshots or alt form kills, so you can see who's the most deadly with the morph ball bomb or who's the most deadly with the lockjaw and things like that. We have a connection history, and the connection history basically says if you are the type of person to jump off because you're losing, we'll track it, and so we'll know. So that kind of filters out some of the riffraff from the online experience. There's this thing called rival radar, and it's pretty much like a license to stalk somebody or hunt somebody, so it's your own chance to be a bounty hunter. Basically, it's very similar to the bark mode in Nintendogs. You turn on your rival radar and you close your DS and you go to work or wherever you're going. And then if somebody else is doing the same thing, you'll connect with them, and then they'll become your rival. Now with that doesn't mean you can chat with them because you've never met this person. What you get downloaded into your game is their hunter license, and their hunter license is the card that contains all their stats. And you can sit and you can watch this person. You can set up games with them, and you can kind of track their stats and see what they're up to. You know, like, oh, this guy's losing all the time, and you know, another way, you know, to do it is like if you just play somebody online and you had a good time, they were really good, they showed you some stuff you didn't know, or you know, whatever, you can add them as a rival, and then you can monitor and follow these people. It's kind of cool.